Hi everyone, it's Gansa here. In this video we're going to be going over Hikaru Nakamura's Immortal game. He actually played against Borris Gelfand in 2009, which wasn't so long ago. And this was in the World Team Championship in Turkey, Bursa. And Hikaru's playing as black. The game turns out to the King's Indian defense. These are all book moves. White is trying to get control of the center. Black needs to push the pawn to d6 to prevent white from going to e5. Gelfand moves the knight to f3. Hikaru castled. Bishop e2. And now one of the main ideas in the King's Indian is to try to break through the center. White usually doesn't capture this. Instead, they push the pawn forward to lock the center. And after that idea, black has moves like f5 to again try to open this position. And this is exactly what happened in the game. Well, actually, first Gelfand did a castle, Hikaru moved the knight to c6, and then white pushes the pawn to d5. Knight goes c7, the only square that is good for the knight. And now white is also making a maneuver with their knight. Hikaru moves the knight to e8 to be able to push the pawn to f5 in the future. And now white is doing a queenside attack. Now because black is trying to be doing a kingside attack, white actually has a good advantage over the queenside. Look at these pawns. They can all advance, and then there's also a rook over here. Usually if white can get a pass pawn over the queenside, then they have some serious compensation to what black can do. It also depends on who's going to make the attack first. Since white goes first, usually white is the one who can go on about in like a super equal game and get the advantage. Right now Hikaru pushes the pawn to f5. This is a great idea. White is also trying to make their attack. Hikaru pushes the pawn to f4, and this is also a classic move in King's Indian. After blocking with f4, there's actually a pawn storm, a flank attack idea, and then in the future king can even go to f7, rook can go to h8. If somehow the queen can go to h4, then white is going to be in deep trouble as black can make a serious attack. So Gelfand moved the knight. Hikaru pushes the pawn to g5. Alright, now rook goes to f7. This is an interesting move. It is actually getting out of the bishop's diagonal. So if Gelfand tries to like capture something in the future, if there's a pawn exchange over here, Hikaru is already prepared. So Gelfand advances the pawn to b5, Hikaru captures, and then the bishop goes to c5. Okay, so it is time for Hikaru to do his plan. Gelfand is also trying to open the queen side. And if you're wondering like whether black can actually capture this, if you capture that, the opponent has so many minor pieces over here. So if we capture, they can try to like have an outpost ish piece over here to cause some trouble. So Hikaru decides to not capture it and then advances the pawn to g4. In positions like this, if you don't have to capture or you don't have to block, we usually don't touch that pawn, because the more you spend time over here, the less you can actually advance in your own plan, and that's going to be a little bit time consuming. So Hikaru moves the pawn to g3, Gelfand moves the king, and now here we have a little maneuver. So moving the pawn to d6 is actually not a very good move in this position for Gelfand. Because after this, like if in this position Gelfand actually captures this, we can capture this rook. Okay, let's actually move the pieces. And after the queen captures this, which is the only move, now white is going to be in trouble after black captures a pawn. They can't really capture back. Since we have two defenders and they have two attackers, they'll be losing a minor piece if they do that. And queen was protecting this pawn. That's why, of course, Gelfand doesn't capture this pawn. Instead, he moves the bishop back. And now look at this bishop. All of these squares are defended by these pawns. So black is in a good position. And now Hikaru is going to do his attack. And this is where the game turns into a very interesting game. This turns into the Immortal game. So Hikaru is sacrificing this knight. Gelfand doesn't capture it. And then Gelfand captures his pawn, and the pawn is now attacking the queen, right? Any sensible person would move the queen away, but there's actually a brilliant move for black to do right now. You can pause the video to think about it, and I'll show the move in a second. So if you were able to find it, excellent. If you weren't, then that's totally fine as well. So Hikaru in this position captures this rook with the knight. Now if you're wondering, but that's a blunder, they can just capture that queen and also promote at the same time. That doesn't work because Hikaru has a checkmate with pawn g2, which is a pretty interesting, a fancy checkmate. So this is the first time Hikaru is giving the queen, supposedly giving the queen away. Of course, Gelfand captures that knight, and now another attack move from Hikaru. Rook goes to here, king goes back, the bishop goes to h3. Now, the queen is still free to capture, but again, right now, white cannot capture this queen because, take a second to look at this position, black is threatening to do a checkmate. So again, if white tries to capture that queen, there is a bishop g2 checkmate. So after bishop h3, white defends his checkmate, and then the queen goes to d3, again putting pressure on the opponent's bishop. You might be wondering, well, what if they capture? Well, it's going to be the same exact checkmate, so they can't really capture that queen. Now, by capturing that bishop, Hikaru is still trying to do the same checkmate, and the queen is still hanging in this position. Queen captures back, and then Hikaru captures the opponent's knight. And now, Hikaru is actually up a piece, but look at this pawn. This pawn actually wants to get promoted. So after that move, Gelfand gets the rook. Again, Hikaru is up a piece, and after queen e6, Gelfand actually resigned. So this was a super intense game, and Hikaru actually showed his brilliance with these queen potential giveaways, but it's of course not for free, it's a sacrifice. If Gelfand actually captured it, the game will be much shorter. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, it does help us to make more videos. And more videos are coming, so I'll see you on the next one.